Hello and welcome to today's episode of Straight Talk for Energy Healers. My name is Rainey Aurora. I am an energy healer. I am also the creator of the healing modality called the accelerated release technique. I work with the subconscious to help people eliminate the emotional baggage that it's the root of their issues. And once you get the baggage gone, once you pull things out by the roots, problems get to go away. So I get to have a lot of fun doing that. I am also the author of the book called The Energy Healing Bible. That's my baby right there. And finally, I am here on a mission. My mission is to help other energy healers like yourselves to be able to live your life's purpose, to help as many people as you possibly can, to share your gifts with the world, and to do it without being broke. Because I know that you work magic. You are incredible. I get to see it every day. Miracles happen. And you deserve to be able to work those miracles, to have the respect that you deserve, and to be paid accordingly. So my job, what I want to do is to be able to assist you in doing that, to give you the tools and resources that you need to elevate yourself to have that wonderful, awesome life. To that end, today I've got my guest, Kerri Jokala. Kerri is a Reiki Master, a fitness instructor, and the host of the Energy Within podcast, and mom of 2 little boys. She is on a mission to help women feel confident in being themselves, to embrace their full essence, and to accept their soul purpose and start taking action on it. I love that. All right. It is now my very sincere pleasure to bring on Kerri Jokala. Hey, Kerri, how are you doing today?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I am excellent. It is great to have you on the show. Now we know the name of the show is Straight Talk for Energy Healers, so there's not a lot of bump. We kind of just like to dive on in.
Yeah.
So my first question for you is, in a nutshell, how would you describe what you do?
So I've continually been evolving with how I describe what I do. And in fact, what my bio says about, helping women to feel confident, being themselves, and accepting their soul purpose has been kind of a recent realization for me, partially coming honestly from committing to making 1 reel a day on Instagram.
Wow.
Yeah. Because it's actually, the funny thing is, it gets easier the more you do it, because then all the ideas start to come in. Like, not to go off on a tangent, but when I initially was like, I like making reels. I enjoy being a goofball and trying to be funny and entertain people, and that was the same thing. Like, so much work, and I don't know if I have an idea. I don't know if I have an idea that's niche related to what I want to do. Like, I have an idea, but it doesn't fit my niche, and they say you should stick to your niche. So I'm like, maybe I shouldn't do it. Maybe I should start a whole new page just for the one-offs that I want to do.
Yeah.
And the moment I thought about doing that, actually, all the downloads came in. I'm like, oh, okay. So I started making a list, and then the thing is, as all those ideas start pouring in and you start acting on them, then you can already start kind of creating the new ideas in your mind. And you'll be like, okay, I know how I want to film that. I know what the angles I want are going to be. So it makes the creation process faster when you start having go-to ways of filming or making the reels, editing, that sort of thing. So yeah. But anyway,
I have to talk a little bit after the show.
Yeah, sure.
Right here.
But so I've always been an entertainer. I love being the center of attention. I like making people laugh. And that's been a through line no matter what I've done, especially if you look at like my fitness classes. I'm a total goofball. I'm up there dancing by myself. I'm intentionally telling bad jokes, like dad jokes, movie quotes, whatever pops into my head, it's coming out of my mouth. Within reason, of course. But you know what I mean? Like, anything that I think is silly or might be entertaining, it's going to come out. And not that I wasn't fully being myself, like with my Reiki stuff or on my Instagram or even on my podcast. It was just that I noticed, there was a little bit more of a serious overtone in the sense that I was trying to be inspirational and motivational and that sort of thing, which nothing wrong with. I still want to have that, but I wasn't really showing off that side of myself, like the entertainer side. And the reels have allowed me to do that and allowed me to show people that I am not your typical Reiki master. I'm going to mention movie quotes in the middle of our session. And like, I'm going to make these associations that you might know the movie, but I'm going to say an obscure quote from the movie that no one else remembers. So through doing that, I realized like how part of my thing that ties in with teaching women to be confident and really embrace themselves means embracing the goofball side of you, embracing the weird side of you, and being okay with it, not worrying that people are going to laugh at you. Like, you just tell yourself they're laughing with you. Who cares? Like just being yourself no matter what, which then extends into accepting that you have a big mission on this earth. So once you can fully accept yourself, then we can start talking about the mission. And then we can start taking action on it. So I guess that wasn't really a nutshell, but that's how I got there. So
all right. Well, one of the things that the thing I promised my audience was that you were going to talk to us a bit about free or full price, and the idea of charging what you're worth. And I was, or actually, no, it was finding the balance. It wasn't charging what you're worth. It was a balance. That is a big thing. Like the like figuring out what do you offer that people come in, but at the same time, when do you get them to get to the full price stuff and all of that? So what's your opinion on that? What do you?
Yeah, so for me, the initial realization was when I was starting to practice Reiki, when I was in the beginning stages of my Reiki journey, like Reiki 1 and 2, and our instructions were to practice on other people as much as we could. So for that, in the beginning, I just reached out to people that I knew, like, hey, can I do a practice session on you? And then it got to a point where like, okay, I really do want this to turn into a business as well. I need to start charging something. Under the guidance of our Reiki teacher, because we weren't master level yet, she was like, she wanted us to keep our prices at a certain range, which was fine. And there was also honestly a part of me that even at this really low price was like, are people going to get mad if I don't deliver? Like, are they going to think that like I overcharged them? Like I had a little bit of that fear there. And I know that, and then not knowing that balance between free and full price just yet was kind of creating a block for me. I'm sure energetically that people could feel. But honestly, what I realized, the first realization for me was when I was trying to sell even the cheaper priced sessions and people weren't biting yet. Like I could load up all the free sessions I wanted, but the even discounted prices weren't doing anything for anybody. I'm like, come on, it's not even that much. And I realized that my audience at the time didn't really know what Reiki is, despite how many posts I had made talking about it, or little things that I had shared here and there. Because maybe they didn't see the post, because we know how Facebook works.
Not the algorithm.
Or just people aren't logging on and hopping into all the groups that they're in all the time. There's so many factors that go into why they wouldn't have seen it, why they maybe still didn't understand it, didn't think to ask any questions because it didn't seem like anything that they needed, because maybe I wasn't describing it right. And I realized I've got to get into this group and I have to show them what it is, because we get to this point, even once we've learned something new, it makes so much sense to us that we forget that we didn't know that. So we have to take a step back and be like, wait a minute, this is second nature to me now, but I didn't know or understand it this way before. So I need to take a step back to where my people are and help bring them along on this journey. So I started just jumping into my Facebook group and doing some group sessions just over Facebook Live.
Sure.
And I had a good number of people that would jump on. People were starting to message me, telling me what their experience was. One person who jumped on, she's become a regular client of mine now, but she had no idea. Even when I started the live, she had
Mhm.
no idea what was going to happen. She thought we were going to just like meditate or talk about something. She had no clue. And then all of a sudden, all
Right.
these images started coming to her, and it
Oh,
took her on
fun.
this whole journey. She called me afterwards and she's like, I have to tell you what happened. And she's been a long-term client ever since then. And so I think the important first step is to take that step back and realize that they don't know what we know. So we have to be willing to show them what it is for free
Right.
in some capacity
Mhm.
so that they can see the benefit. Because it's one thing to talk about it, but
Right.
if you can find with whatever it is that you do a way to give them even just a small taste of it, you know. So I find that when I jump into, say my Facebook group or something, and I do a group Reiki session, or I just jump in and I do some Oracle card pulls or something, I almost always book some new people off of that,
Right.
get some new sessions, or
Gotcha.
someone asking for a link, and I don't even have to mention like, hey, I'll drop the link if you need. Like, people
Right.
just will ask, or all of a sudden I'll see in my email, you have a new appointment scheduled. I'm like, yes.
Right. Well, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. That I'm gonna reel that in a little bit later. I have some thoughts on it, but I want to ask you the other questions.
Yeah.
Okay, what is your special gift? I call it your superpower that makes you amazing at what you do.
I think, I don't know if I'm going to answer this exactly the way that you mean it, but for me, I think one of my gifts is just creating like a really warm and welcoming atmosphere for people so
Mhm.
that they don't feel intimidated. And that's a lot of the feedback that I get. Like, honestly, even through like other regular like retail jobs and stuff that I've had, I've gotten that feedback that I create kind of that warm,
Yeah.
welcoming
Mhm.
atmosphere for people, which I think is important, especially with something like Reiki, where some people might be a little unsure of what's going to happen or hesitant, or sometimes we don't have to get into this topic, but like beliefs can get in the way, and so there can be a whole thing. And if they're coming in and I can help them feel comfortable so that they can then get the best experience possible, it's just that much better all the way around.
Fantastic. All right. Now, my audience is energy healers. Why might they need the service that you offer? And specifically, why might they want to work with you?
What I have found being an energy healer is that while we have the ability, of course, to do the self-healing work, we can pull our own cards, interpret them ourselves. I've found a lot of times I'm just too close to whatever it is that I'm
Mhm.
trying to get guidance around. So I've got that block there because maybe I want a certain answer, or
True.
maybe I'm just too stressed, I'm too scattered, I can't focus. So a lot of times like that, I'll go to one of my friends and be like, hey, can we do a session? Can you tune
Right.
into this for me? Because I need an answer and I can't. Like, I've pulled cards, like I've pulled a spread of cards 3 times, and they're all different and I have no idea because I'm not even sure I
Yeah.
trust that I pulled the
You
right
trust
card,
the answer. Yeah. That's very,
So
very true.
in that sense, I find that an energy healer going to another energy healer is just, you think of it like how coaches have coaches,
Yeah.
like even people at the top of their game still have coaches, like
Yeah.
there's always room to grow, there's always new perspectives to find. And then
Yeah.
again, being able to have another set of eyes or
Yeah.
third
It's
eye
sometimes very hard to see both.
on.
That is very true. Okay. Now, you did mention to me earlier that you've got something special to offer my audience. You want to tell us about it?
Yeah, I don't often discount my sessions, but a lot of times when I am doing something like this, I'll give a special price, just as a thank you, basically,
Mhm.
for people who have tuned in and listened. So normally I charge 111 for my one-on-one sessions,
Mhm.
but all of your people can do a session for 75. So there should be a link
Yeah.
that will take everybody right to that price. So there's no coupon code to enter. You just go right there and it'll give you that price. And we can either do a Reiki session, or I've just started learning how to open the Akashic records. So that could be a thing, but so
Fun.
yeah.
Very cool. Now, my last question. So, how can my audience connect with you if they want to reach you and learn more about you?
Yeah, so I do have a
Follow your
website.
reels.
Yeah. Help me bust the algorithm. So I do have a website, kerrijokala.com. So if you go there, you'll find pretty much everything. You'll find links for Reiki, Oracle card pulls. You'll find the podcast through there. But there's also the podcast itself, which is also on pretty much all the free platforms. So if you just look up The Energy Within, you'll find it. And then I also hang out in my Facebook group, which is also called The Energy Within. And of course, Instagram. So go check out the reels, like them, share them. And there's plenty more coming.
Okay. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate your time. And yes, you do most of my shows don't actually go this long, but it was just fun listening to you. You're so bubbly.
Thanks. Sorry, I go off on so many tangents. I'm always like, I tell everything.
Totally okay. So I really appreciate you being here. Thank you to my audience. It always means so much to me that you've taken out the time to spend with me and my guests, because there is nothing more valuable than your time. And the fact that you took out some of it to hang out with me, I really do appreciate. Now, one thing I said I was going to bring it back. Interestingly, you mentioned offering something for free so people could get to know you and see what you do. I actually have a free workshop coming up. I do this twice a year, and it is the How to Heal from Your Past workshop. So in this case, I'm not showing you what I do so much as teaching you how to do it yourself. So if you are interested in learning the basics of how to connect with your own subconscious and figure out what your baggage is, specifically what your subconscious wants to heal, and figuring out where it came from, then please join me for my Facebook workshop. It's March 21st to 25th. Links are all in the description, and it would be wonderful to have you there. If you want to reach me personally, you can find me at info@acceleratedreleasetechnique.org, or go hop on by my website, acceleratedreleasetechnique.org. And if you liked what you saw today, please like, share, subscribe, all those good things. And of course, come back and see me next week. Bye for now.